Hey everyone, we're here on Toulan, and any chance I get, I like to do a little bit of tree harvesting, so I kind of wanted to go over where to tree harvest here on Toulan. For starters, I like to always start right here at this flora and fauna. Um, the entire island has trees on it. You can see the tan ones are all harvestable, so let's get to harvesting them. Now, the reason we're going to harvest these trees outside, if we were going to keep the resources and do some furniture running and whatnot, is for the skills it's going to give us. A handful of the skills are hard to raise up. Um, we're going to get perception. That one's not as hard to raise up. A lot of things will give you some perception. Some botany is nice. It goes into that gardener profession that I assume they'll expand at some point. At least I keep hoping. You'll get some alertness, which is a cheap looter skill, but it's still a looter skill. And by cheap, I mean it's just cheap to buy in the auction house. Same with dexterity. You'll get some dexterity from the tool use. It's pretty cheap to buy in the auction house, but you'll get build it up as a byproduct. You'll get some geology here, and that's going to help with your mining if you ever decide to branch out. Biology is a looter skill, and it's hard to work up outside scanning and maybe some of the pet taming stuff. I'm not real sure on the pet taming. I haven't done a lot of that, or much of it at all, in all honesty. The same with that zoology. It's a looter skill is worth a few percent, like 3 to 5%, somewhere in that zone. And you don't get it by killing stuff. And so you would literally have to do a ton of scanning or some pet stemming stuff or buy it out of the auction house. And it is not so cheap in the auction house. Last time I looked, it was in the 3,000 something percent. So that 3 to 3,500%, I think, is where it was. But I haven't checked for a while. We're able to slowly build it up this way. And this gives us a wide range of the looter skills that we're trying to work up. That zoology, that biology, the alertness, the dexterity, the perception. The analysis is kind of the big one we're trying to work up. I think it's around 10% or something like that. 8% maybe. There's a little analysis skill up. And all these are going to add into the various looter professions to varying amounts. The mutant and the animal looter specifically definitely get a little bit better bonus from doing the tree cutting than, say, the robot hunter. I mean, the robot hunter should still do some. Um, the analysis still goes in. The alertness still goes in. The dexterity goes in. The perception goes in. And so the ability to work up the analysis is kind of the big one that you get from tree cutting. And it's 5% of the robot looting profession. The rest you kind of would get from If you just did some tree cutting, you would get your alertness, your dex, your perception, your analysis. I don't think you're getting a computer from it. I don't recall ever getting that. And then if you go up on a mothership and do some repairing, you would get your electronics and mechanics, which are kind of the counterparts to anatomy and zoology, or anatomy and genetics, I think it is, for the mutant looter. A little bit of a jaunt for the next round of trees. But the biology and the zoology and whatnot tend to be a little expensive if you're just trying to chip them in. And tree cutting's pretty cheap. You will get 90% returns most of the time, and every so often you'll break even or pull slightly ahead. But it's pretty rare. It's it's mainly that you're investing some ped into gaining some skills. And after being on Cyrene, where the tools are 30 something uses a minute, so every 2 seconds, and here I believe they're like every 3 seconds. Um, it just seems like every strike is kind of in slow motion a little bit, just because we've been tree harvesting on Cyrene a lot, based on we've been on Cyrene working on those plates a lot, and so that's kind of the. Plus, they have that weekly tree cutting mission for a random blueprint that's kind of nice to do periodically. I think we've finished it like 3 times now. But yeah, this is all about working up those side skills that only add in a little bit. They're all under 10%, and half of them are under 5%. But they're all those small pieces that help you get a little bit better loot. Um, I don't know composition, but definitely value wise. Um, they've stated the higher your looter level, the more loot you get. Like 0.07% per level, I think is the official statement. And so I'm not 100% sure what affects actual composition, but something clearly does, because it shifts at some point where you start getting less shrapnel and more things that might have some value or markup. And so, yeah, you lose about 10% per tool. Each tool is about 5 ped, right? So you can count on losing about 50 peck. And in return, you're gaining a bunch of skills. Especially if you have those Cyrene tools that are just significantly faster than the rest of the tools on the other planets. And I hope they don't decide to fix that by slowing down the Cyrenian tools. I mean, if they have to fix it, I hope they bring everyone else's up to the 33 uses a minute instead of the 22 that these are. And it's just, I don't know, it's really nice to see skills go up. I like it when random skills that I don't even use go up. But it's nice. It's super nice to get better returns every time you go hunting because you took a little time to do a little bit of the side work and dump a little. I guess it's kind of like buying extra returns. You do a little bit of work, you put a little pet in, and after that you get a little bit better returns because you have those that extra perception, the biology, the zoology, like I said, all those little skills that you don't work up while you're hunting. You'll get anatomy while you're hunting um, from the damage component of the weapons. But you won't get your zoology. And so that'll just be an empty contributor to that profession until you do a little bit of this side work. And the lower that profession, the less loot you get. And if you deposit to get ammo and buy those starter pack refills, you get skill pills that you can divert to when you do this so that you get the most bang for your time, so to speak. Not really bang for your buck because it's a pretty cheap activity. There's a genetics boost. That goes into that mutant looter I was talking about. But a boost on your time because you can only break so many tools an hour. And so to boost these skills up, you're talking how many hours you have to dump in. Like training your character. But you can see how if someone hasn't gone through the island here, there's a not insignificant amount of trees that you can find in harvest. And the resource gathering is obviously the main profession. Unfortunately, there's not any like hidden skills associated with that profession or anything. But it's still nice to see it go up. That's what I mean about the skills that don't add anything really to what I do, but I still like to see them go up. Adds to our total skill count. And so after the island, I think we'll go to a couple of the spots that only have a handful of trees, but that are often overlooked by people, and then we'll hit the big stretch in the desert there. So Guardian Village often gets overlooked by people who are doing tree harvesting. And it's nice because you can just teleport right in, but often there's a tree right up here, and then there's one down there. Oh, it's got a couple of hits left. Then we're going to go outside the village here, and there's one up here if people haven't hit it. And in this case, it looks like they haven't. Oh, next tool. We're going to go this way so there's no monsters. And then out across on this island is a small grouping of trees, like 6 or so. And so you see up here is a small grouping, then there's a couple down there and a couple across the way. We'll hit them up and take that skill. And so this little island's worth about 7 or 8 trees with a couple on the other one. And so people often overlook that guardian village and then out over here. And if you've ran out of trees to harvest, I suggest you come check this area out. While it's not a ton compared to the other two areas we're kind of going to go over, it does get a nice side note or a footnote. Alright, then we go across the water, and you see there's going to be one there and one over there for us to harvest. And now we're done with this little area. And we'll go hit up Jelly Zone and kind of move our way south. It's really nice they added a teleporter there. Before you had to hit the flora and fauna and fly over or swim over to start the south run for tree harvesting. Or if you want to go hunt those jellies up there. And so that has definitely made it a little nicer, honestly. So kudos to the development team for adding that in. I'm sure that wasn't cheap. Oh, now we're far enough away to let me off. Alright, up to Jelly Zone we go. And there's sometimes a couple of trees, yep, right there. On this side you can get before you swim over even. There's one up there I missed. All right, then we go across the water. There's the first one, I think. And then we'll work our way south. And so there's a big grouping of trees this whole south way. Oh, from here all the way down to like here, and then you jump over here, and it kind of goes down a ways. And so that's where the biggest concentration is going to be probably. Oh, what do we get? Level 42 resource gatherer. Excellent. So when I say I like to do this, I'm not fibbing. And you can tell there's a fair amount of trees up here. Until someone like us comes through and cuts them all down. Oh, almost missed one. We'll go ahead and go back and grab that one next. And so yeah, I can't sing the praises of the side boosting of the skills enough. People often overlook it in the rush to just be a high level instead of being a well-rounded character. Um, and sometimes being the well-rounded character really pays off. So don't be afraid to side quest, I guess is my message there. Alright, looks like we're close to breaking that second axe now. I think it triggers that warning about one ped to go, so when it hits about 20%, which is only 50 uses, so that's fairly reasonable, I suppose. Oh, looks like we've cleared this grove. Oh, down there will be our next strike. And most of the planets have a pretty reasonable tree cutting spot. I've been told Arcadia does. I've never seen it. I've never found it. The people that know about it are a little secretive sometimes, um, and don't really want to share. I'm not saying I blame them. On our on Cyrene, there's a that mega great spot by that Footwind Falls or whatever it's called. That big island. There's like 3 or 4 good spots to kind of get some good tree cutting in. Calypso has a few good forests. Rocktopia has some great spots. Down in Hell, there's like 2 or 3 really good spots, and then there's that overpass area that you need a special like quest or flag to get in. And it's a pretty involved quest, um, in all honesty. you have to make it all the way through that prison line on Rocktopia, which definitely takes a hot minute. Alright, on to the next one. But you can break a tool probably every 20 minutes out here with the tools out of the trade terminal. And so coming up here is where, once we get past these rocks, is where we're going to jump across the river a little bit. And so there's definitely a fair amount of trees to cut down. Enough that you can, as long as no one's kind of came down right before you, um, use our skill pill and get a pretty reasonable benefit from it. I know that's why I wear the Mayhem armor with the little helmet is the reload bonus. It allows us to get through a little bit more tools during a skill pill. And yeah, I agree. We should get a ring at some point. Um, we just haven't been lucky and pulled one out of a box, and I haven't broke down and bought one because those can get kind of expensive pretty quickly. They're a worthwhile investment in some cases. I'm just saying that they get a little pricey. And worthwhile investment or not, you still got to have the cash before you can invest it. But I would definitely say we got a pretty good bump in our skills today. And we only bought 15 ped in tools and I don't know how much of that we've gotten back. About 11 peds so far, it looks like. A little over 11. And so to get 90% returns, we'd have to get to 13.5 ped. Right now we're like 11.3. And then we're going to keep going south for a little bit because there's some more trees on the other side of these rocks. Ooh, someone flew by. You can hear them. We can see them on the radar too, but you can hear their exhaust from their vehicle. And so at some point they added these bushes that could be harvested too. Before, in the beginning, it was just these big trees. Well, we're at 12, and at 12 ped, we're at 80% returns. Oh, that was a nice one. We got 14 boards on that one. And so this is definitely not the most glorious thing you could ever do. Oh, we're getting kind of close on breaking this last tool. It definitely benefits you. Now, how substantial that marginal increase is in the long term, I'm not real sure, honestly. It is a marginal increase. It is better than not having it. I don't know if it's going to be the thing that stops you from breaking even on the regular, but it's definitely not going to be helping you if you don't have those skills. And I guess since they said it was just the profession that gave you the bonus, you could just boost the primary skill up super high, but your marginal returns at some point will start to really diminish. Um, Once you're over, 5,000 skill for sure, then 10,000 skill, like 10,000 skill at it contributes about 30%. You still only be like level 30. Whereas if you had 3,000 skill kind of across the board, you'd be that same level 30. All right, then we swim across the river here and kind of go down the water line here for a little bit. And it looks like that's our first warning on the breaking of the axe. 50 swings to go. 5-0. I want to say it was only 6-8 trees after you get that warning before you're gonna kind of break. But yeah, that's 13.9 ped right there. So we're definitely over the 90% mark on this specific run. Yeah, we did really good actually. All right, final two swings. Looks like we got 14.97. Oh, we're going to be right on the edge. We hit exactly break even, 15 pet exactly on that one. Anyway, that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap up our tree cutting. You can keep going down here for a little ways, and then there's a bunch around this. Then there's some more down here. Beware the mobs. And then down here by this, there's a little stretch. There's a few in here. And so there's plenty more. We just broke 3 tools in about, I don't know, what, 50-ish minutes. So there's a solid 90 minutes or so of like just continual tree cutting as you go from spot to spot. I hope this helps you out. I hope you get those skills that maybe you've been missing. And I hope you get the returns you're after. Have an amazing day. Stay epic.